Right, hello everyone, and this is going to be my attempt at remaking the videos, and I'm trying to do the audio at the same time as making it, so hopefully you'll get some bloopers throughout this one. Right, so I'm going to look at basic leveling and tutorial of how to do your Titan throughout this first video. So first and foremost, just go into character. You'll see my light level is 1044 at the minute, which my gear score is 1032 plus 12 from the artifact. But I've got nothing really on my skills. So got a gap there for something to go in at 1045. My next highest purple is 1028. Same again. I've got an exotic tech in that slot, so it means I can't use an exotic anywhere else. So if we take a mooch over here, I'll go to Master Rahul first.
Well, Titan, let's see what we have here.
As soon as I've got a prime engram sat there ready to drop, that's 1044. It's one I earned a while ago. I just saved it just for making this video. So because it's on the weapon side of things, it's not the greatest yet, but it's also not that bad. At this point, I'm just going to use the Vault app, because that's my preferred method of
Remain vigilant, Guardian.
transferring everything across. Press equip for max power on my Titan, and you should see shortly that a few things swap around, some things get transferred in.
Ignorance is a prison cell.
You see some armor's changed there.
Engram is the key.
I've just got to change the weapons myself. And still missing a weapon, so it's alright. Whilst I mosey on down to the drifter. So your best way of filling in gaps now is using the umbrals, which you need to go down to the drifter and do some quests to unlock the ability to refine your umbral engrams. The other way to do it is also go to the moon and access the thing next to Eris, and you can pick which piece of armour that you'd like to do once you've done the Shadow Keep campaign. So, nearly it's drifting out. So right, we're here. So if you bring up menus, this is where we can find out what gap we've got to fill. So 1045, 1045, 1047, 1050, 1046. So pretty much just going to call up a piece of armour for this, 'cause you can't specifically pick which piece of armour you want. Oh, and I've got an umbral engram as an extra reward, so that'll do nicely. First introduction on this side. You've also got the Gifts of Light and Dark, which I'll go back to in a second. But in terms of levelling up your recaster, these two bounties here are your main purpose. Get those done. They each give you 500 twisted energy, which enables you to pick level ups on here. You'll find out if you can level any up by saying remaining gifts here, and there's a number 1 just under that cover. And I've only got 2 left to do myself, so it's just a case of picking which one you'd prefer to go with. I'm going to go with that one for now. That final one is linked to rank 21 just by keep plugging all of the bounties into that. You also have these mods at the bottom of the screen, which the higher the rank you get, the more of these you'll be able to buy. You should be able to buy the first one from like the first rank, if I remember rightly. So next part, if you go into umbral focusing, you get your list of everything here. Now I'm going to select the armor focused because that's 1048, and I'm just going to do one at a time. So that way you've constantly got your highest light things equipped. You don't have to do it this way, it's just the most efficient way of doing it. So I've got legs, which didn't help me because we saw my legs were already 10 feet full. So if I go back again and call up another piece of armour, let's see what we get from this one.
Hey there. Go ahead and deposit something loaded with darkness.
Yeah, so we've got a head that time, so that will help us out. So if we go in,
You ready to ship out?
my current head is 1045, so if I equip this straight away, it's 1048. Now, because that's a holdfast helmet's 6 energy, I don't want to delete that one, because I've put some materials into upgrading it. Whereas this one is less stats and less on that. So, press triangle on the head that you want to bring up the light level, highlight this, and because it's the same name, same type of armour, so it's holdfast helm, and I'm putting a holdfast helm into it, it'll only cost you 1,000 glimmer. So I'm going to go ahead and dismantle that and put it into here, which has now brought up the light level for this to 1040.
This is going to take some time.
I'm not going to go into the power limit of seasonal captures yet,
One man can't fight an army.
but you see at 1048 now, it's put up my gear score a little bit. So now when we decode the next piece, it'll hopefully put us up a little bit more as well. So go back over here.
This is amazing!
Yep, and you'll hear my phone going off in the background, which I probably should have muted before this. I'll call another piece of armour, and then we'll go back to the machine once again.
Getting biometric.
Alright, so 1048, decipher that again. And I've just called up my weapon that I was supposed to do earlier, which just means it's a little bit more efficient. But we got legs again, unfortunately. But, as you'll see, we've got an arc, a void, and solar there. So what we can go ahead and do is upgrade the holdfast grooves on the void one, just to keep it the same, void to void. But because the stats are at 56 and the stats on here at 60, I'll delete the older one. And then from that we've got a solar, an arc, and void. So the next thing, because we've got no more umbral engrams to do,
Go be bad guys.
if we go to the map, we can fast travel back to the top. The thing not to worry about, I've not played much of the story on my Titan because I deleted my character. So you will be able to just pretty much get to this point within a couple of hours of play. It's not like you'll have to play a couple of 100 hours to get to the point I'm at now. The only advantage I do have is I've unlocked a lot of the exotics previously, so I've got access to those for the builds, which we'll get to later. So, also should have checked this before. Postmaster, your best friend for finding stuff you've left behind. As it turns out, there's quite a lot. If you hold R2 over an item, it'll tell you what light level your currently equipped armour is, so you'll find out if it's worth keeping the previous one or not. So that one's not worth it, so I'm just going to go ahead and dismantle. Collect that. Collect that. Weapon, not worth it. Chest, not worth it. And unfortunately, you will find that a lot of what's left behind isn't really worth it, but it's not that much of a problem. See, if I'd have had that helm earlier, might have got a bit higher, but it's fine. Next one, because I picked up that prime, I'll go back and grab that again.
I think
Come on, Rahul.
you'll return
Speed up.
me, Guardian.
So decipher that, and it gave us a Titan mark. So we'll go down and find out if that helps us out at all. 1046, so no. And because it's not helping me out, I'm just going to get rid of that and get the shards. The other thing you can do to get little jumps here and there is go see any of the vanguards. So
Hello, Guardian.
here at Zavala, you can turn in tokens here. I've only got 9, so I'm not going to be able to do much with that. But you turn that in until you drop a piece of armor or a weapon and use that into your build. You've also got Shax over here, who does the crucible side of things, and he can help you level as well. So I've got a few more on this, so I can show you what I actually meant before. Press it twice, it gives me a 1046 arms. Will that help? 1045, so yep, that's an immediate help, so we can delete that. And then I'm going to call for the next one. As that was a weapon, I'm not too bothered about it, so I'll carry on again. Another weapon. The reason my weapons are a lot higher is because I've swapped them throughout my characters. We've got some more arms there, see if that's pushed any higher. Yeah, so as I was saying, I swapped the weapons from my other characters that are higher light, which meant that I was able to push my armor up a lot quicker. But once you've done one character, your other characters become a lot quicker to make those jumps, because you'll get the initial jump off your weapons, and then you've still got all the powerful drops to do, which I'll show you shortly. As you can see, that one was another jump, so I can delete the old one and keep that one at 47. And one more, I think. Yep, that's the final one I can grab from Shax, and it's another weapon.
I'd be right there with you if these rookies could just learn to fight by
As I said
themselves.
before, it's lower light, so I'm not too bothered. I'm just going to delete both of these for now. Not a good weapon. Delete. So, the next thing you can do on your leveling, if you hold the touchpad and go to destinations, you'll see these little yellow circles with a star on them. And what they are is a powerful weapon armor drop location. So even in the tower, you click on that, it'll tell you who's got ones left by these blue icons. So if I do 8 bounties with the gunsmith, Banshee 44, I'll get a powerful gear drop that's tier 1. Tier 1 means it's going to be 1 light within your current gear score level. Next one is tier 2. That's clan bounties, so it's basically just doing bounties. If you want a quicker boost, do it with clan mates. There's actual clan bounties as well that'll get it completed faster, but just doing general stuff on your own works as well. Tier 2 means it'll be 2 light levels above or equal to your gear score, so on and so forth, onto the tier 3. And the main ones that you'll be looking for is the pinnacle gear. Now the pinnacle gear will do a significant increase. It's about 5 light usually, but it'll only be a significant drop if all your armor is about even, and your weapons. So if everything's at 1046, all weapons and all armor, that'll give you the best drop. Whereas if you're missing one that's say at 1030 instead of 1047, it could drop that and just put it to where your normal gear score is, but it's still a significant increase on that. So it's always worth filling in those gaps. The other thing you've got is the contact event, which is new for the season, and that gives you a tier 2 drop. You've also got the Nightfall ordeals, which you're going to need to be higher light to do those to get the pinnacle gear drops, the score of 100,000 or above. But you can do 3 normal Nightfall ordeals at the lowest levels to get a tier 1 drop. Same goes for Crucible. There's two different types in here. You'll see these rotator matches and core matches. The core matches are always the same. Rotators obviously rotate. And those of you particularly like PvP, there's Trials of Osiris that runs at the weekend, which I don't particularly do because I'm not good at the PvP side of things. Lastly, on the leveling side, you've also got, I can't show you on this one, but you've got the pit, which is another thing. You'll also have nightmare hunts on the moon. They'll give you powerful things like the Nightfall wood. It's the same thing again. If you do it on the base level, you'll have to do 3. And if you do the highest level, the master, then you'll get a pinnacle drop again. You'll also have certain bounties to do with Eris Morn, and when you do those, you'll get a powerful drop. The lectern of enhancement is one of the things I was talking about before, where you can pick what piece of armour you want to work for in order to bring your light level up. So, say I needed chest, I could select a bounty that was related to chest armour, and that'd drop a chest armour somewhere near my gear score. It won't be a powerful, so it'll only be your gear score or somewhere around that figure. And other than that, the next best thing is the later raid. So the raid on the moon, that'll give you powerful drops. The new dungeon that's in the tower will give you powerful drops. But yeah, that's the first part for the leveling.
The schematics for
The next one we're going to look into is basic modding. So, first things first, I've got level 6 here. Level 4, let's find something that's lower. Level 4 will do then. So, triangle. You can see I've got 4, which enables you to put a level 4 energy cost mod on. But say you want more than that, or you want a different mod, you just hold the apply to upgrade your armour, and it costs you legendary shards and glimmer until you get to stage 5. Stage 5, it starts costing you enhancement cores as well. And then the higher you get, it starts costing prisms, and then the final one will cost you an ascendant shard to get the level up to 10. A way around this is the Pit of Heresy, the final mission. The final boss will drop a fully masterworked piece of armour, which is where I got these on the previous season. But first and foremost, right, so fire. Fire is linked to auto rifles, fusion rifles, submachine guns, rocket launchers, linear fusion, so on. I'm not going to patronise you and read what the Ark's got and what the Void's got, because you've got eyes. But say you want to do a rocket launcher build. You can go straight to that and go, right, so it costs 3, so I can have one there and one there. So they'll both give you a higher chance of finding rocket launcher ammo while you're out in the field. The next thing, just so I'm sticking with fire, you can go in, and the hands are all about reloads. So you don't really need to go into the reloads too much, but if you look, there's increased rocket launcher loader for the speed, and later on when you get the mods, you can get the enhanced versions. They drop from Master Nightfalls, Master Nightmare Hunts, and Iron Banner. So they're not easy to get, but if you plug a bit of Iron Banner. And the next part, you go to chest. Let the chest armor load up. Go to the solar again. Now solar is reserves, so you can hold more of the ammo. So again, the more you pick up, the more you want to hold and carry with you. So I'll upgrade this to the 6 mark again. And that means you can have 2 of those.
You alive, Guardian.
And then legs. Once they load, find the solar one.
Sadly, the
Highlight that.
defeat will not bring back our lost archives.
You also have these, which are non-specific. So if you want to be swapping your weapons a lot, you can have these on, but they cost more. So rocket launcher scavenger. that means for each ammo you pick up, say you'd normally get 2,
The XO
this time
are among
you
the
might
more
get 3 in
They are well
1 drop
equipped
of
to
heavy.
into themselves.
And then having 2 of them just makes your reserves even more.
We live in dangerous times, Guardian.
After
I hope you
that,
have something for me to
pretty
fight
much
with.
on your holdfast mark, so the Titan mark, the Hunter's Cloak, and the Warlock's Armband, I can't remember its proper name, these will all be to do with supers, special finishes, and so on and so forth. So, things you can have in these middle 2 slots, you can have gain super of rocket launchers, which say you were doing something like a machine gun build, you could get extra super energy for every machine gun kill, which for that works a lot. Rocket launchers I wouldn't do too much, because obviously you're not killing a massive amount with rocket launchers. You also have other mods such as faster grenade cooldown when using your class ability, or gain super energy from grenade kills, so on and so forth. You also have these type of mods. Now all of these come from your season artifact, and as you play through you'll level this up and pick which upgrades you want from each track. Various ones, these are just the ones that I've picked for this character. So every time you shoot someone that's got a shield up, when you've got the shield piercing weapons on, it'll give you a little bit of grenade or melee energy, so on and so forth. And it's basically about piecing together. But as you look, for a basic build that you can apply across the Arc, the Void, so on and so forth, we've got Rocket Launcher Finder times 2, Rocket Launcher Reserves times 2, Rocket Launcher Scavenger times 2, and then on here, like I say, you've got a choice of anything from those, or whichever Arc or Void you're going for. Next thing is the empty slot on the first one. And these are on every single piece of armour, so you can put grants increased discipline, which gives you more grenades. You could put that on every piece of armour, so your discipline tree would be really fast. Same for melee. Intellect gives you more super energy, and then you've got your movement, recovery, and your resilience. You also have, depending what type of armour this is, solar, arc, void, you'll then have a solar, arc, or a void resistance on this. Followed by that, minor resist, which is normal enemies, major resist, which is named or orange and yellow type enemies, and boss resist. You know what a boss looks like by this point in the game, but that'll just mean you take less damage from them. And then concussive dampener for area of effect grenades, so stuff like when the Hive Knights shoot fire at you and it's burning on the floor, you'll take less damage from it. And finally, you've got this final slot, which is all the seasonal armour mods. With this, I'm not going to go too much because it's a bit of a jump into this when you've just started the game or you've not been playing for long, because you might not have many of these mods. But these give you extra things like building stacks of light on yourself, which will give you, while you're charged with light, grenade final blows heal you and consume 1 stack of charged light. It's all about building stacks and using them here, there and everywhere. You'll also get those on certain raid armors. So if you're doing the latest raid, you'll get stuff to go against the Hive, so on and so forth. Next one you have is weapon mods. So in here you'll have pulse rifles, auto rifles, hand cannons, sidearms, so on and so forth. And these will have these base on all of them. And it's basically, I've got one of the seasonal mods on that comes from the artifacts, just because it's strong against unstoppable champions. Almost got me to naff up my words there. Almost. But stuff like a pulse rifle reduces recoil and target adjuster is really good for long range shots if you're trying to push that pulse rifle. Extra ammo in your magazine, and Rampage spec and Dragonfly spec are all stuff like that. Usually you had Rampage in that slot, it gives you extra time to carry on the Rampage stuff and so on. Again, that's more stuff you'd look into later. And for this, I was basically just giving you a quick heads up as to making quick builds that'll just mean you've got more heavy ammo, or more grenade energy, more super energy, stuff like that. So, for the Titan, I'm going to leave that there because I don't have any specific builds for him. But, what I will tell you, there's two main exotics that I prefer for him. One is these Peregrine Greaves that were for sale with Zer this weekend. If you didn't pick them up, they will come round again, and they're in the general loot drop. And the other one that's good is Doomfang Pauldrons. But what I might do, if there's a request from you guys, I could put a single video with the best exotics, what they do for each class, into one video later on. Yeah, that's everything that I wanted to convey across, so we'll leave it there, and cheers for watching.